All right, electricity, please stay on. Welcome, Musa.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mark.
It's great to have you on our Leaders Who Care series, and I know there's always electricity problems, but that we need to show the world. We need to show the world. So here we are, and best place to start, Musa, if you could introduce yourself just a little bit first about where you're from originally, where you are now, maybe about family, it's things like that, and then we'll get to everything that you're doing. So please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Mark. My name is Musa Konneh. I'm a Sierra Leonean, and I'm based in Sierra Leone as I speak to you. And I'm originally from the eastern part of Sierra Leone, which is Kenema. That's the capital headquarter town of the eastern region. Presently, I'm staying in Bo. Bo City is the capital headquarter for the southern region in Sierra Leone. Um, I'm from a very big family. Of course, for now, I am the elder son or the elder child of that particular family because a few years back I lost my elder brother. So for now, I am the elder one. So I stay in Bo.
Cool. And what were you like? Well, first of all, do you have are you married? Do you have kids?
Well, for now, I'm not married. I'm not married for now,
For now,
but
good.
I'm
That's
trying
good.
to work on that. Yes.
Do you have any prospects?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. It's not easy, but I'm trying to figure it out.
All right. Well, maybe someone will see you on this video, and who knows what could happen? Special things could happen.
Yes, yeah,
So,
definitely.
what were
Looking
you
forward.
like? What were you like, Musa, as a kid or a teenager? Were you organizing friends? Were you a computer guy with video games? Did you watch movies? You play music, sports? What were you like?
Well, I grew up in a community that's really a very difficult community. Let me just put it that way. So like I didn't have access to video game. I don't even know what is called video game or so I was more of like organizing my friends around me for us to stay for a particular goal, to stand up for a particular goal so we can achieve it. So it was more of organizing my friends around. I didn't have time even to go out to play. It was just more of like bringing my friends together. We plan things and work on it.
Yeah, I can imagine a different life in the sense of you had to develop purpose very quickly to help family, community, et cetera, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, were you from a kid to a teenager, that part of your life, was there much difference?
I didn't get you. Come on, come
When
again.
when you were like 5, 6, or 7, how was it different than when you were like 13, 14, 15?
Well, when I was like 5, 6, I didn't have too much responsibility to carry. But like when I started getting to 7, 8, 9, 10, from the family that I'm coming from, I start getting some key responsibility to carry out. So that was the difference. At the earlier age, there was not that too much responsibility because people have to do things for me. But I start growing up to 10, 11. I start carrying out my own responsibility because at that time it will be interesting to know that I have to fetch for the family. I was given that responsibility because I have to go out there to really strike very hard for the family, especially my mom and other younger sisters as well. So that's the difference.
And did you how did you feel? How did you take on that responsibility so early, or was it just understood?
Well, it was a difficult task, and even for now at this stage, when I even think about the type of responsibility that I carry at that time, I always see that it was a really it was a very difficult task at that time. So it was difficult, really. I feel bad about it even now when I think about it. But there was no way. I just have to go in for it.
Yeah, right. It's interesting because, we do a lot of work with leaders who care, obviously, which is where the name of this podcast comes from. And obviously you had an early understanding of what that meant to care about family, to care about community, to get things done. Um, and I gather you with your business education background that you went after, yet you ended up taking a personal focus towards child rights and advocacy and education. What were you envisioning? What were you thinking about that led you down that path?
Uh, like I was really envisaging to have a community that have a social inclusion, that have an inclusion, and also a society where we can have a gender-based violence free society wherein we have people that live freely on their own. They take decisions. They are given the opportunity to also have decisions on their own. So that was the type of community that I have been envisaging all this while for us to have an inclusive society instead of leaving one of the gender out, especially women, because I see or what my mom told me, the things that she went through as a woman before giving birth to me, is something that I always have been always standing up for to see how I can also fight very hard to minimize it because I cannot able to end it as a single person. So that was the kind of community or society I was envisaging in my head. Because I see, especially for women, for far too long they have been left behind uh, for so many things at all level in development. Given to the fact that you look at the cultural and religious taboos or norms. It's also impel them not to really contribute to societal development, and that doesn't help us to progress in society. So that's what I have been envisaging in my head, and that is what I'm working towards to see that we have an inclusive society.
Yeah, and I want to come back to that, but I want to ask you also, so why did you take accounting and management in school?
Because I did that because I want to see how I can be accountable, not only to myself but to people that I will be working with or working for as well. Because I see it very necessary for me to be accountable as well. So I also want to learn and also ensure that I'm able to manage things around me. Where it's not about just finance, but like even things that happen around me, how to manage it. So that is why I took up the management course.
Yeah, I find that really smart and wise for a young person, because if you don't have, sustainability economically, it's pretty hard to make a difference as well, because you need funds to make things work, to give people a life, etc. So I thought that was pretty smart. Can you share about a little more about the work you do, the impact you're making? Also, you started, talking about young women. I know you support expectant and young mothers on education, on employment, and caregiving of even their children. Can you share overall what you do and the focus on young women?
Yeah, really, I'm a very passionate person about women empowerment. I am more focusing on women empowerment based on the things that I learned from my mom, the things that she went through as a young mother when she gave back to my elder brother, the things that she went through, the challenges when she explained that to me when I was growing up. I see it as I feel bad about it, and I also say to myself that one day, when I grow up, this is something that I will stand up for and also ensure that people did not go through this type of marginalization that you went through, especially young girls. So like that gave me the courage to start supporting. When at this age now, I started supporting young mothers and expectants. Because I started, before starting it, I was working for a program wherein we are supporting women's empowerment, especially children, God child educations, empowering them in communities. But that project at that time went against the rules that they started asking guys out of the project because of pregnancy. When they get pregnant, they drove them out of the project. And I see that it was a threat to their own development. And as a passionate person about women and girls empowerment, I also have to back out. I have to resign and start my own initiative that supports expectants and young mothers instead of throwing them out. Because most of the pregnancies that they get is not only their fault, it has many, many obstacles. It has a lot of stories that they themselves do not want to talk about. I myself will not talk about it to other person when I really found out about it. It is not their fault, but community or society, stakeholders, parents, everybody see them as bad example and they judge them very well. I mean, they judge them badly. It's not well. They judge them badly and they treat them badly also in society. So I see that there was nobody that will stand up for them to really see how to change that particular perceptions of people about young mothers. So that was the reason why I started supporting them. So I support them to return to school or find meaningful employment in society. That is through assisting them with skills training or go back to school. And we provide them mentorship. The mentorship is because most of the guys who have been driven from home and they have been living on their own, they have been totally lost focus and they also they lost track. So I have to bring them back on track. So the mentorship is there to really help them to feel back, to regain the confidence that yes, I can do it after that. So and we also do family tracing and reunification, like I mentioned earlier. Families see guys who get pregnant at early age at bad example. So many out of 100%, 99% of families drove the guys out of home. They ask them out of their houses to go and stay on their own. And you can see it's a double marginalization, it's double discrimination. I always call it that way. Because if you have uh, early uh, initially women are marginalized. And if you also find yourself now as a young mother that do not have any support from any other person, either family, society, everywhere you find yourself, even people always want their kids not to even make them friends, not to be friends with them. So they are left on their own and they have been facing a lot of exploitation. So we do the family tracing and reunification when we meet them. We try to relocate their families. We talk to the families to ensure that they accept them back so that we can really look out for something important or meaningful, something in society which we can able to put them there. So change that perceptions and also change their looks about how community look at. So that is why we do. That is the family tracing and reunifications. We trace the families, we meet them, we do mediation. It is not an easy task. It's a very, very difficult task, especially trying to return a girl who has been disowned by his family, by our family because of pregnancy. And even in the institutions, we are most of the time we try to put them in the institutions, the institution owners, maybe head teachers, headmasters, they see them as bad examples. So it's also a difficult thing for us. So we do like community engagement, a lot of community engagement, stakeholders engagement, passing on the information, the reason why they should not see them as bad people. So that's what I do. And that is what although it is really difficult for me at this point in time, especially at the way how people look at the type of people that I'm working with. A lot of people have been denying me access for help because they say I'm doing the wrong thing in supporting young mothers and expectants. So, but I see that it is not bad. So we also provide childcare. The childcare scheme, I set it up because if we want to send a young mother to school or to learning institutions, for her to really pay attention to the training or maybe in school, you cannot expect her to take her child to school because the school will not allow that. They don't allow that. So we look out for other ageable people around communities, and then they look after the kids. So the mothers can go to school or to the learning institution where she can go and acquire better skills so that she can be able to stand on her 2 feet so that she can be economically independent so she can able to take decisions on her own. So that's what we also do in that area. Again, over the years, I've been working with a lot of guys, and we have got more than 150 guys who have graduated out of the program now. And most of those guys have got employment, and some of them are self-employed now. So, and they are involved in income generating activities that earn them money, which has really changed their stories, yeah, from the bitter one to a better one now, which have also created an opportunity for them, for other people to see them, in fact, as role model as well. So people now admire them. People want to come around it. They have got more friends. They now make decisions in their family. Most of the guys now, the families cannot take decisions without them because they contribute to that family in terms of even like their livelihood, feeding, paying bills and other things. Most of the guys take charge of that now in their homes. So that has greatly helped to change the perceptions of people in most of the community where we work now, except for communities where we are not able to reach because of the limited resources that we have. But that has been a greater impact that we have really made in their life. And again, now they are kids because one of the most disheartening thing about the people that I'm working with is you having a child without a father. I know there's a father, but those fathers have definitely denied their responsibility of taking responsibilities of those kids. They left the pregnancies in the hands of the guys. They left the kids in the hands of the guys, and those guys does not even have experience how to look after those kids. So it's a very heart-rending thing that I'm working on. So like I'm always happy if I see somebody that's really feel inspired by this work because I'm not doing it for my own maybe to get like a fame, no. But I see it that is really important. It's a call that I have to do for the progress, not only for Sierra Leone, but for the world at large. Let me just put it that way. So that is what I do. And now I have seen that most of the guys that we are working with during our family tracing and reunification, that most of them are coming from the rural areas in order for them to come to the urban settings or urban areas for greener pastures or maybe look out for job or maybe look out for other opportunities. In that trend, they face a lot of exploitations like like rape, like gender-based violence, and all the result has been pregnancy without a man, without somebody taking responsibility of. Right. So based on that, I have been trying to do something now. I want to take the skills to the people in the community in the rural area. So I'm more embarking on rural education, taking the skills training and other support to the rural area to see how I can mitigate the rural urban migration, people migrating from rural areas to the urban area, especially guys or women. So before you come in now to the urban area, you must have a skill. So we have started building some skills training centers in the rural area, which is a novelty, which is a new thing to many of the communities, because these are things that have never happened in their communities, and now they are seeing it. So I'm taking it now to them and also see exactly how we engage the guys at the rural area so they cannot move. And also see how we can also change the perceptions of people in the rural areas as far as the cultural and religious taboos are concerned, as far as women are concerned. So that is what I do. Right. And it is a challenging thing, but I love it.
No, it's definitely a challenging thing, especially where you are. But it's such a critical thing because you know, every person has value, and every mother, every kid that's born could be the next person to cure a disease, could be the next person to, make a difference around the world doing something else. And um, so it is super important. And the education, not only of the mother, but between 0 and 3 years old, education has been shown to be really important for young people. And I'd like to introduce you to somebody that leads a whole program teaching women, new mothers, on how to act with their 0 to 3 year olds to help them advance at the same time. It's called Gift Connect. I'll do it after we do this conversation. It could be valuable education that coaches mothers, new mothers, on how to talk, how to sing, how to act with their young kids, because that's important. I know you talked about, you go through the family, grandparents have always been known, and now it's even more so, to be very valuable in a family with kids. When you're looking through the family, are grandparents available? Are grandparents open to being involved?
Um, like I mentioned earlier, none of the family members had wanted to involve with those guys because they see them as bad example. It is only with our interventions in terms of like taking the message to them, preaching it for them to see that these guys are not bad example. And some have been showing, but most of them have not agreed to really play that role. Instead, we also give stipend to other people to offer us that particular service, to render that service to the guys as well. But now you see, the program has really changed the story around the girls, and most of the girls now, like especially the alumni. So we have formed what we call the community gas network in the communities where we are working. So the community gas network program is there now. The gas themselves, those who have graduated from the program now, they advocate for other gas in the community. So most of these guys sometimes now serve as caregivers to the other guys' children. And now they are also helping us to even push more of a message to their parents, because they are now seeing the type of change that is happening in the life of the guys. So most have started coming in now to help. But like for now, we pay most of the caregivers for them to just give the caring to those to the kids as well.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. Do you find that many dads change their mind and come back to be involved once they see that that's their kid?
Yeah, many have really now changed. I can say that in most of the communities where we work now. Now we have the mothers network. That is the mothers of the girls that we are working with. So I'm trying to fix up the mothers network as well, to see how we can also bring the mothers in, to see that we also find a way for them, how we can engage them, maybe in agricultural programs, where we will support them to grow and sell, and also support the girls. So that is what also I'm also working on now in those rural areas. So I'm bringing the mothers together. In fact, we have something we call now the experience sharing section for them. We are in, if one mother have been facing encountering some problem with her child, and maybe the other mother have used some techniques to really overcome that particular challenges, so they share experience, and
Sure.
from that experience they use it also to solve the other problem. So that is what we are now embarking on.
No, that's amazing. And people thrive when they belong in a group. Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
they say that the heart and soul of everybody is really belonging to something, where they feel like they whether it's a family or a group or a book club or whatever. So it's things like that, I think, are really good to make a difference. How about, I know you have electricity challenges and things like that, but with technology, there's so much education that can be had. What's the challenge there of being able to use technology or even get funded for technology to help you do what you do?
Where the challenges is there as far as technology is concerned. well, I can say we are far behind for now. Even first of all, the know-how how to use those technological materials is one of the is the key challenge. Because
Right.
like let me say like in the rural areas, you find people there who have never even touched a computer. They just see maybe heard about it. They don't know it. Maybe there are few people that even use smartphones, especially in most of those marginalized or rural communities where we work. So it's challenging because but it is something that is really key that we are also fighting to see, especially where we build up when we have the support and build up like the centers, those rural area. These are all things that we're trying to really take down to the people. But like in most of the community where we work, there's no electricity, there's no power. So they use more of like other light, other things to really provide light for them. But
Right.
maybe solar, but not all of the homes. In fact, that has been some of the challenges for some of the guys that we support in school.
Right.
It has been always coming up for them to study at night. They don't have access in reading because there is no electricity. So except sometimes we provide them some church light. I don't
Yeah.
know if we
Yeah, I
provide
know
them.
we've
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
we provide them sometimes. So that is what they use. Although
yeah, I've
yeah,
seen
that's
yeah, I've
what
seen
that's what.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. I've seen in some countries they have a special like solar powered light that they can use at night to learn,
To read.
which is amazing. And it should tell people around the world not take for granted what they have. That's for sure.
Definitely.
It's
I love
crazy.
that.
Hey, how could people that are seeing this, people that are listening to you, how could they potentially help?
Well, there are many ways to help because we are limited in resources. When I talk about resources here, it's not just about money,
Right.
but even the technical know-how is also something that is very key. Let's say, well, I don't want to praise myself, but we are doing an amazing job that we cannot even able to show out the impact to the people outside there. There are people that have the know-how on how to really analyze the impact of to showcase what you have
Mhm.
done, what are the impacts that you have created. We need this type of people to really come on board to help us. We're also thinking about like our social media handles, like the website. I don't have a website now. I don't know how to design a website. And if I ask somebody here to do a website, to develop a website for me, it's bloodily expensive. Which I don't have type of money. We prefer if there's somebody who can also help in that direction. I think that should be really key. That would be really, really appreciated. We also need people that we can collaborate with in this particular interventions for us to be sharing ideas and best practices. You see,
Mhm.
so these are some of the things that we need, and we need maybe somebody who can really help us draw a particular clear strategies of what we are doing and where we are going, where we are heading. So we need like I need somebody like a strategic developer or a strategic planner, somebody who can help us in that particular way. Well, the key one, which because I always think in my head that money is hard to get, but there are some people when you get with contact with other key stakeholders, they can also help you. They will not give you money, but they will create the way how you can get money to push your dream forward. Now
Sure.
that is about somebody who can also connect us through partners and also see exactly how we can get somebody that guide us and also help us in grant writing. So these are the way that we are really asking people to really help us run. And even with materials, because we have girls that we are working with, especially they have kids, they need some basic things. If there's a way somebody can able to help with that, uh, it will be a very big and laudable welcoming thing. So these are the things that we are really looking out for.
Okay. Well, I know some people to introduce you to. You are doing an amazing job, and I guess it was Abigail that introduced us, right?
Yes, sir. Abigail.
How do you know her?
We met at the Catalyst 2030, and we are introducing ourselves and also showing some of explaining some of the things that we are doing in our various countries or communities. So when I explained the things that I'm doing, I think she was really inspired by it. And the other time that she called me, fortunately, I was in the community trying really find 7 girls at that time. It was the most difficult time at that time that she called. So I
Mm.
have to put it on record. She really see what I'm doing. I've sent her photos of what I'm doing. Um, so she's really inspired by it, and she has been really trying to connect me with people. And one of the key person that she thought of was you. And I think she will be really happy and see this as a dream come true of me talking to you today. So I also want to say thanks to her.
No, well, you know, she's Canadian, I'm Canadian. What can I tell you? You know, the Canadians.
Oh, oh, that's good. I'm
You know,
really
go
happy.
let's go
Yeah.
Canada, I guess. Last question I want to ask you here is, with everything going on, I mean, the last few years there was COVID and all the challenges and things that you go through. What are you most grateful for? The first thing, and then what are you most hopeful for the future?
Well, one of the good thing that I was really happy about or grateful for was when throughout COVID, the young mothers, we are able to support them throughout COVID in the sense that all learning institutions were closed down in Sierra Leone, but the continuous learning, they continue their own learning. We are supporting them. We are like doing home, a group study at a home group study. So after the COVID, the number of re-pregnancy or teenage pregnancy, as far as the girls that we are working with, it was like zero. Nobody get pregnant. They were not involved in anything, so they
Wow.
were really safe. So we got the numbers. So after COVID, when they start to the first exam, all of the guys they performed very well. So I was really grateful for that. And the other thing that I'm looking forward to is to see how I can get more help to really see that we create that enabling environment for those young mothers and women in general in society. That is what I am really hopeful for. I want to see a society that is free of violence for women, not
Yeah.
only in Sierra Leone but right across the world. So that's what
No,
that is what I'm
that's
really hoping.
yeah. No, thanks for sharing that. That's you know, that's such an important part right now, and it's no wonder that Abigail said you were a leader who cares, because I think you really do care. Let me tell you, you're doing an amazing work
Yeah.
there, and you know, you're helping people. Like we said before, every person has value, and if you just give a person a little bit of hope, a little bit of self-esteem, a little bit of care, they can do amazing things, and that becomes a legacy for you. So congratulations on being a leader who cares, and I appreciate you taking the time to be on our series. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this thing. I think you have also helped in your own way, and I hope and believe that this will take us a long way, and this benefit will also reach out to the guys. Tomorrow I'll be having a very big meeting with the guys in one of the community, and this will be one of the things that I will definitely pass on to them. That we have somebody by the name of Mark. He's really trying to see to amplify our work so we can get people who can also help us to help you also as well. So we can get to the bridge. We want to cross the bridge. We are at the middle of the bridge now. So we want to get more reinforcements to push us across the bridge. So I thank
Well,
you so much. I really appreciate your time, your effort. Thank you.
no, my pleasure. You're doing a great job, and keep going up. And hopefully soon we'll even get to have some of the women on as well to share their story.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Looking forward to that.
Me too.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.